Charcoal is a light, dark residue produced by heating up wood in a low oxygen environment, which removes all water and gaseous compounds it has, leaving you with pure elemental carbon. I made my charcoal mainly for the production of gunpowder, but it also has other uses, like simply a fuel for forges. To start, I acquired a 1-liter steel can, and in the lid, I made a small hole and put a metal tube through it to let the gases escape during the heating part. The hole was soldered, but I don't think it mattered too much because tin melts at around 230 degrees Celsius, which is much below the temperatures achieved in this reaction. Next, I cut up some branches from a hazel tree to a length that would make them fit inside the can. After gaining a good amount of them, I put as many as I could into the can so that the amount of air inside would be minimal. This part is quite important as you don't want the wood to undergo complete combustion. I then put the lid onto the can and tapped it with a hammer. To get wood for heating the can from the outside, I used a fir that was used as a Christmas tree a few months ago. I cut off the branches and chopped the trunk into 3 big pieces. The branches were added through the whole reaction to keep it sustained and hot enough. I put the pieces of the tree onto a fireplace, put the can inside, and covered it with more sticks from the branches cut off earlier. To make it easier to burn, I covered the wood in kindling and then began to burn it with a butane torch. At first, not a lot was happening and the fire was going out quickly, but as I continued to add more sticks, everything started burning quite rapidly. After a while, there was visible smoke coming out of the tube in the can. This was probably water evaporating from the wood. A few minutes later, the gas coming out of the can was mostly hydrogen and carbon monoxide, which are both flammable, and so a jet of fire appeared near the can opening. When no more gas or flames were seen, I stopped adding more wood and left the charcoal to cool down overnight. The next day, I took the can out of the fireplace and cleaned it lightly. I could easily remove the metal pipe as the tin in the solder has melted. I opened the can using a flathead screwdriver and took the contents out into a bowl. Everything inside was very light, brittle, and dark. This is a sign of well-made charcoal. I then ground everything using a mortar and pestle in 3 goes until a fine powder was made. The first portion was 22.5 grams, the second one 16 grams, and the last one 20 grams. This gives us a complete weight of the charcoal powder being about 58 to 60 grams. The charcoal was then stored in a glass jar. To test out the charcoal's burning properties, I made a small batch of gunpowder. First, to a beaker I added 1 gram of sulfur. This was followed by the addition of 1.5 grams of the newly made charcoal powder. Lastly, I added 7.5 grams of potassium perchlorate, which will be the oxidizer in this reaction. The powder was thoroughly ground and mixed in the mortar. I placed it on an evaporator and lit it. The black powder burned faster than any other I have made with different types of carbon. This shows the quality of the product made. Thank you for watching.